A study by the election lab at the University of Florida found that Oklahoma had the lowest voter turnout during the presidential election. In this morning's Hot Seat, News on 6 political analyst Scott Mitchell shares the work a group is doing to turn those voter numbers around in the future.
Good morning. Welcome to Hot Seat. I'm Scott Mitchell. My guest is my friend Pat McFerron with Yes on 835. This guy knows more about, he forgot more about Oklahoma politics than I ever knew. But let's start with a stark fact. Voting in Oklahoma is bad when it comes to the data in terms of people participating. Your group wants to do something about that. So let's start at the 10,000 foot level. Tell us what Yes on 835, what you're wanting to do in this state question that you'll spend the next 90 days trying to get signatures, get it on the ballot.
Well, it's a state question to fundamentally change how we have our primary system in Oklahoma. We're going to get rid of the exclusionary Republican and Democrat primaries and create one ballot. It's how every city, town, community in Oklahoma does it right now. Everybody's on one ballot. We will still have party affiliation. That's one thing different from the cities. And then everybody votes for one person, and then the top two face off in the general election. I think that's fine. This is really an Oklahoma solution. It's not about any place else. I mean, you mentioned turnout. For two presidential election cycles in a row, we've been dead last in the nation in voter turnout. And it's because our November elections just don't matter in this state.
They don't matter because they're picked in primaries, right?
They are. They're picked in taxpayer-funded primaries that exclude taxpayers from participating. You know, this election cycle, 86% of our state legislators were elected before the November election, before everybody was able to vote.
That's an astounding number. Let's start with the data, a little more data, and then get into motive. When you see a democracy, representative democracy, and people are not voting, so political science here, what's the problem with that?
Well, I think what happens is you don't get buy-in into the policy on the other side. We've talked a lot of times about how you can change laws, but you can't change hearts and minds. And I think if you end up having those debates in the general election where you can invite everybody in to participate, you have a better chance to change actual behavior. And to me, that's one of the reasons why it's so tough for us to improve our health outcomes, these other issues, because we don't have that extra concentration moving issues there. I also think it's just fundamental basics of a representative form of government that you have to have greater civic participation. And if we make it where we tell people your vote doesn't matter, your vote doesn't count, and they don't participate in that, they're less likely to participate in planning commissions or boards or food banks or any other civic engagement.
Right now, the ruling powers, Republicans, don't want open primaries. Why is that?
Well, I think the ruling class is, you're right, the thing they don't run is the people. And I'm a Republican, I mean, and you know that, but for those watching, I was a state committeeman for the Republican Party back in 1986. I was very active in the right to work effort. I've been involved in more than 100 successful legislative campaigns for Republican candidates, gubernatorial, presidential. I was the only pollster Trump used in 2016 in the primary, nationwide. So those that are in power don't want to lose it. And they can control what they're doing right now, and it's insular. They only have to campaign to 3% of the people. I mean, a state senator represents roughly 80,000 people. If you get 2,500 votes in a primary, you're winning that seat. And we have not had we've only had one competitive state senate race in the last 4 years in Oklahoma on a general election ballot. I mean, you win those in the primary.
Pat McFerron, thanks for being with us on this Yes on 835 issue. We'll be looking forward to seeing how this works out.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Hot Seat. See this again at news9.com and news on6.com, and follow me at Mitchell Talks.